last 4 rounds of the Area Cup Series season begin now. Tonight, we're at Michigan Speedway for the 4th to last race of the season. It is an elimination round for the first round of the playoffs before we head to the second round in Iowa and Kansas. And this big track, this is the longest track we've got left on the calendar. 2 miles, 105 laps here tonight. And the 12 playoff competitors will be whittled down to 8 at the end of the evening. Hi, everybody. Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian D'Acunha and Hunter Sleppy tonight. Finian, this big place with these big banks have big consequences tonight for those on the bubble.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, 4 drivers will be going home at the end of this round. There are a couple of heavy hitters down below that cutoff line, so we'll have to see who are going to be the 4 that'll be going home, and could be sending home a couple race winners from this season. It's just been that competitive this season so far, so we'll have to see. It all starts now as you got qualifying coming up in just a little bit to see who are going to be the guys moving on.
Yeah, the guys are sitting below the cutoff line right now. You got Tyler Nichols there sitting the first one out by 4 points, Adam Cabot by about 5 points, and Douglas Newbigging by about, we call it 17 points, and then Ricky Springer missed last week's race. I'm not sure if he's in the sim tonight or not, but he is definitely in a must-win scenario.
Yeah, the 51 is one of the drivers that I do not sell. He is here on the timing screen, so he will be trying to win his way in to the next round of the playoffs. On the left-hand side of the screen, there's a driver in green. That's Seth Knoll. He is good because of his win that automatically advances him to the next round, but for everyone else in the yellow in particular, you mentioned Ricky Springer, Douglas Newbigging, and others. They've got work to do, Finian. Those in blue, they might still have some work to do, but they are currently above the cut line as things stand.
Yeah, and really, speaking of what you mentioned, one of those drivers, Ricky Springer, currently dead last in the playoffs. He missed last week at Bristol, so he's in the biggest hole of everyone. He's essentially in a must-win situation, so you gotta expect to see that car trying to shoot for everything he can, because it's basically go or go home for Ricky Springer in the 51 machine. Currently looking at Connor Horn. He's going to rocket past the start-finish line. I believe he might be starting a lap.
Yes.
Indeed he will.
Connor Horn rolls through 1 and 2 inners tonight, +9 to the good entering this race, and not really a good track for him in his only start. He finished 25th, so not going to be, well, you don't want to finish there. You want to be finishing better, and Michael Curran as well. I mean, he's got a 9th place finish, and sign is upside down. Is that in relation to Tyler Reddick? I see his name upside down.
Yes, it is. If you read this, send Tyler Reddick to help flip this back over. I literally had to stand up and turn my head upside down to read that.
Yeah, I stupidly tried to do it the old-fashioned way until I realized I could just tilt my head over and it would make it a little easier. But here's the 73 of Jake Nichols, who's on the course right now at the moment. And about half the cars have qualified, a little bit more than half left to go. And again, tonight, we're going to see a kind of racing that's a little bit more similar to Talladega than it would have been in the past with these next-gen cars. So I think there's a lot of potential for big incidents here, Finian, but there's also a lot of racetrack to escape to, and we've seen that in the past as well.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of drivers are going to try to take advantage of, especially on the back straightaway. There's all the asphalt you can ever want. You see Jake Nichols come out of turn 2. There's a lot of chance for avoiding it. Typically, we end up seeing a lot of wrecks coming out of turn 2, usually entering turn 3 when everyone comes back together, again, entering the corner. But it's essentially going to be a very big pack race. I was watching a lot of practice, these guys forming into groups. So, as with most things with this next-gen package, it's going to be a pack race for these drivers. But it's not all, rainbows and unicorns. These drivers are going to have to modulate the throttle. They're going to have to modulate the power, because it is easy to get loose here if you get on it, put a little bit too much steering into it. So it does take a little bit of finesse to work your way around here at Michigan. As you look at Seth Knoll, the one driver out here has nothing to worry about because he's moving on to the next round.
Indeed, as Cabot sits atop the time sheet with just over a minute left. There's a bonus point if you get a pole, Kyle, so big points on the line for the 07 as Seth Knoll looks to try and snag that away.
And Knoll is going to run a 38.409. It will not be a pole. It will only be 9th. And Travis Beckner is on course right now with that number 28. No playoffs to worry about, at least tonight. Douglas Newbigging, though, does. He's in the yellow and has some work to do.
And gets out onto the racetrack. I don't know if he's going to have enough time.
He will not.
So it's going to really dampen his spirits. He's going to be having to start from the back. Travis Beckner, he's coming flying across the finish line. It's going to be only 15th for the 28 car.
Andrew Payne goes 14th quick, and he might be the last driver to get a lap in. Reese Schaefer, 5th at the last second. That's a solid lap there, but he's also not a playoff competitor. Newbegin, Max Service, Jacob Bell, Cameron Hearn, and Mason Kane are all not going to make it to back to the line to get a time on the board. So Adam Cabot's going to pick up that point. That's a critical one for him in the yellow, and 105 laps here tonight. But before we get into that, we've got a warm-up period here, and for those of you in the area Discord, you'll already know this tidbit of information because it was just announced that at the conclusion of the Season 6 Area Series season, I said Area Season Series season a couple of times there, SimTV stepping back away from this league and a handful of others as we reduce our workload a little bit heading into 2025. Finian and I have been doing this for nearly 7 years. And
oh God,
it's
it feels old.
It's
should be
been
in first grade by now.
It's been a little bit of a ride, but we've both made a lot of friendships here. We're not going away. We're not leaving the community. We're just stepping down from the obligations to it primarily because we're both in a point of transition. And I think at 26 years old, we've got other stuff going on. I certainly do in my professional life. I know you do, Finian. My personal life has taken quite a turn as of late. So there's just a lot going on. It's all good, but I think for me, 4 to 5 times a week doing this is too many, and I think it's going to be a better balance for everybody.
Yeah, I was going to say, and we mentioned to everyone before, is that this is one of the best leagues we've worked with out of the entirety of SimTV's existence. Area has been nothing but extremely professional, very low demanding, probably the least demanding out of all the series, and just a pleasure to work with. And the fantastic racing, the best racing thing we've seen out of, well, again, most of the leagues we had. You can expect green flag racing, some hard racing, some fantastic fights. Most of the best finishes I think we've seen have been also in this league as well. So
yeah,
we're definitely going to be glad we can say we're departing on a high note.
Yeah, I think one of the best all-around leagues in general from an organization, a racing competition perspective. The reason why we're heading out is at least it started for me on a personal level where I just needed to spend a little bit more time away from the computer. And it feels like a weird time, like heading into the winter in particular. But some of the things I've been exploring are like a personal health quest, which involves a lot more cooking for myself. And the constraints on the evenings have really become noticeable when I'm trying to do that. I think I've really made a lot of progress. I know we don't show ourselves on camera, and I'm not actually set up on camera very well at the moment. I've moved my apartment around as part of this process too. The amount of time commitment that it takes to do this extends beyond the races themselves. And so it was time to make a change for myself. And we will not be going entirely away. There are some series that are going to stick around on a less regular basis. The Indy Elite Series, at least currently, we fully intend on beginning that. I think that starts in December. And then the Full Send Sim Series on Tuesdays will continue. But pretty much everything else is going away, at least in the short term. It doesn't mean forever, but I think for now, this felt right. How's that?
Definitely. Yeah, I think
I've recently become aware through other life experiences that don't suck at talking. So it's been therapeutic in many aspects of my life to be able to express myself through speech. And while this has been a blast, it's also been exhilarating to use it elsewhere. So
I was just thinking in my head, I was thinking about getting better at talking. I think we both have. Especially compared to our first podcast. I was like, I can remember some of the stuff we said in that first podcast, and wow, we've come a long way in 7 years.
Well, and I think, if you took a different career path, I leaned into this really hard and accidentally got a job doing it in 2 places, and none of this would have happened without this existing. There are times that now that my career has grown enough that I still enjoy doing it, but it does feel at times like a stressful thing to come back in between travel weeks and try to set it up and do it, right? So to be able to do my best work in those environments, it is necessary. And again, we're not going away. We'll be around. I would like to race in one of these series at some point, but on my own terms.
Well, you actually wanted to race on iRacing?
Well, I built a simulator 2 years ago, and I've used it 12 times. And it's because when you spend so much time doing this, you don't. It's like walking in and ignore the open wheel car on the screen. It's when you do it all the time and watching everyone else have fun, the last thing you want to do is get in there and do it yourself. Like, you're just burned out from it. So it's finding the love in it again, I think, too. And there's professional relationships like the Toyota GR Cup Esports Series that we intend to continue there as well. But yeah, this is it for the time being. So appreciate everyone's, again, we're not going anywhere, so I don't want to make it feel like it's a goodbye, because it's not. But we will actively be assisting in finding a different group that is as capable in many ways, or even more capable. And I'm sure Area will continue to find all the success that they have in the way that they deserve. Before we get to the green flag racing tonight, though, on the 105 laps we've got around Michigan, race fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. As a subscriber, you'll have Area iRacing emotes to use in the chat and earn double channel points that you can use to redeem for free merchandise for just $5 a month. Join today, and you should definitely join that Twitch channel, because it will not be on your favorite familiar YouTube channel in the near coming future, so you should do that now and make sure that you don't miss. It will always be to Twitch. Not sure what YouTube looks like for those guys yet, but we will find out. And for our starting grid sponsor, Central Mobile Homes, if you're looking for a small or large home, a new shed, or a Triple Crown trailer, look no further than Central Mobile Homes. They've been proudly serving Florida customers for 28 years with a plethora of small and large home floor plans, shed designs, and Triple Crown trailers. Available in LaBelle, Okeechobee, Clewiston, and Sebring. Head to centralmobilehomesinc.com to get started today. And with that, we'll head down to the racetrack and get through that Central Mobile Homes starting lineup. And on the front row, it is a playoff competitor in need of a strong night. Adam Cabot starts first, Blaze McKinney in second.
Yeah, Adam Cabot's 10th in the points, so he needs to definitely get a good finish. James Scally is sitting in third in the number 7. He's in the good for now. Connor Kresick in the 14. He's rolling off in fourth.
Reese Schaefer starts fifth in the number 97. Jonathan Oates rolls off sixth in the number 45.
Then back we have an all-playoff driver row with 7th place Michael Curran in the 24 car. Next to him, Jake Nichols in the 73. He's lined up in 8th.
Ninth place, Seth Berger in the number 77. And Seth Knoll, he has got nothing to worry about tonight. He rolls off 10th.
Moving on back to 11 is going to be Peyton Howe in the 52 car on the inside. Next to him, Edward Scherer Jr. in the 17. He's rolling off in 12th.
13th place, Connor Horn in the number 42. There he is on the grid. Brett Puncari giving us an onboard camera tonight. He rolls off 14th place.
Moving on back to 15 is going to be Andrew Payne in the number 70. Next to him is going to be Matthew Bell. He's lined up in the 8 in 16th.
And 17th place is Travis Beckner in the number 28. He does have an EOL. Jeremy Miller does, well, he's got a drive-through, so both that row are going to have to serve some penalties here.
Moving on back, 19th, Greg Mitchell in the number 2 is lined up on the inside. Next to him, Philip Groner. He's in the 11. He's rolling off in 20th.
And in 21st place, it'll be Ben Pierce in the number 65, and Bailey Turner starts 22nd in the number 25 car.
Moving back to 23rd is going to be Ricky Springer in the number 51 machine. He is in a must-win situation. Next to him, Jake Matheson in a better situation. He's in the 54 car in 24th.
A lot of cars to climb up through, though. Tyler Nichols, this was a story we got late-breaking news on. He had an internet outage at his home. He drove to Jake Nichols' house and set up his sim racing equipment alongside Jake so that he could participate tonight. He rolls off in 25th place alongside Emerson Arden in the 57.
We went back to 27. Nick Silver in the 99 machine is going to be lined up next to Ed Robertson in the 64 in 28th.
29th place is Cameron Hearn in the number 4. And looks like Douglas Newbegin will roll off in 30th place.
Yeah, I think one of the lowest of the playoff drivers as far as qualifying positions concerned. Then Mason Kane lined up in 32nd in 31. Next to Jacob Bell, 33rd in the 6th car.
And 34th place is Max Service in the number 81. He will bring up the rear of the field. And Jay Raybay, who's been one of our longtime supporters in particular, he's been around really since the beginning, hasn't he?
Oh, he's been around a very long time.
And we were just joking about my chiseled Chad jawline and Taco Bell crossed out and quinoa, vegetables, and chicken. But honestly, it's just been the process of actually cooking for myself that like forces you to think about portions and everything. And it's not quinoa and vegetables. I made mushroom risotto. I made croissants the other day. I'm eating food I want to eat, but I just more responsible with it. But appreciate your support. Hunter, hi. It's been a while since we've talked. Pick me a winner tonight. Who gets this thing, brings it home?
Oh yeah. Well, I got called out by Michael Curran in the Discord because I haven't picked a winner yet this season for Cup. So, you know what? I'm gonna go with the 7 of Scioli. He gets it done.
All right, that's, I would say, maybe a conservative pick in some ways. I'm second, so I'm going to roll with. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about this. I might regret this, but I'm going to take the 24. And I hope he didn't hear me just say that. I saw that smirk.
That definitely sounds like he did. Oh boy! All right, let's see. For me, who do I want to pick? There's a lot of interesting names up in the top few positions. It's just a big question of if they're going to stay there. Scioli, I think, is a great pick. Even for Curran, I think that's a decent pick too. He's starting up there in 7th. But I think for me, I'm feeling the 73 of Jake Nichols starting on the outside of him.
Trying to protect your little baby lead you got. I'm closing in, baby. Coming for you.
In your dreams.
Yeah. Well, we've already established one of the other things I was talking about before this is I've not been sleeping very well. It's not affecting me, which is concerning me. I feel insane, but I will not be dreaming.
Concern over the commentator standings. Keep me awake at night.
Awake at 3 a.m. with nothing to do. I got new sheets and bedding and everything, and it's really nice, but I don't. Anyway, let's go racing. Michigan Area Cup Series playoffs. We eliminate 4 tonight. Here we go, 105 laps, and it all begins now. An hour and 7 minutes from green to the checkered. If it goes green, will it? Let's see. Adam Cabot brings him to the green, and we're underway at Michigan. Four wide and a slide. The 77 of Berger goes for a slip, and he is just trying to gather it up in the midst of a hornet's nest out of turn 4.
Yeah, going down there, I'm not sure. It looks like he actually had some contact. Payne Howell threw a big dive to the inside of him, and that's caused a big check up in the middle of the field, but looks like they're all sorted for now. For the most part, for a couple of leaders, single file, but still a big hornet's nest in the back midfield. Look at that, 4 wide in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, back behind them, Travis Beckner and Ed Robertson made contact coming off turn 4. I think Beckner got a piece of the wall, but there's Douglas Newbigin right in the middle of this as he is already a man on a mission. He's up 11 spots since the start of this race.
The start of the race was a lap ago, so he is on the move, as you pointed out. 51's up and out of the groove. Ricky Springer must win tonight pretty much. And going the wrong direction here early, and it is pandemonium from wall to white line.
Yeah, everyone's doing fine. What's that?
I said even below it, he can go on the apron on the front stretch.
And that's actually what happened with Peyton Howell, who made that move, got into the left rear corner of Seth Berger. But still guys sorting themselves out in the back, but mostly single file up near the front, except for the 73, Jake Nichols trying to make a move on Michael Curran. They're going side by side into turn 3, but Adam Cabot still the lead up in front. Blaze McKinney, James Scioli, and then Connor Kresick, Reese Schaefer in the 97. He's looking to perform really well. This could be one of his best finishes this season. He can keep it up.
Yeah, Curran right now would be out if Adam Cabot wins because Cabot entered below the top 8, in which Michael Curran sits 8th heading into this race, so he needs to have a solid performance as he's trying to fend off the 73 of Jake Nichols.
Yeah, but again, reigning champion, I think he's got some tricks up his sleeve. They're going to some tracks that are really good for him. Up and coming on the calendar because remember Kansas last season and the battle he had with Jake Nichols there. I think he'll do well, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of strength coming for the 24 late in the season, but I should stop talking about him because he's wiggling and wobbling and making me nervous.
Yeah, I'm sure that Michael Curran's hoping for a win because even though he's a defending champion, has yet to have a win this season. It's been so competitive across the board, especially with one of Seth Newell, who's actually buried back in 16th. He dropped back a couple of spots. And middle of the field, there's Philip Groner, speaking of which, midfield. Whoa, a little bit of a slide for him loose. And this is what I was talking about before. Remember, I was saying that it's a little bit slick out there for these drivers with these conditions. And funny enough, the track is actually fairly cool. It's not only the track, it's just the way the setup is, the way the car is handling. It's still a little bit loose out there, so you can't just smash the throttle and let the car catch it. You need to modulate it, you need to be careful with it. His teammates just inside.
80 degrees track temp, but with the recent heat, I bet it's a lot hotter as they're still working their way. It's Curran and Nichols actually in somewhat of a tandem down the front stretch in the 1, trying to get around Reese Schaefer in the 97. Behind him, though, you can see just the amount of cars fanning out in about all 4 or 5 lanes up to the wall.
I have a feeling that this car is set up to be loose because these long, kind of flat corners for this big, fast racetrack require it to be set up loose because the car's going to tighten up over the run as you burn those tires off. And so you'd rather have it tighten up over the course of the run than just start plowing midway through. So for it to do that, you need to set it up to be pretty crashy on the beginning of the run. The 97 gets a shot down the front straightaway, and this is the kind of Talladega you don't want to see.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jonathan Oates giving a big shove to the back of Reese Schaefer, trying to get his momentum going, but now Oates stuck in the middle. As Ricky Springer, I think you heard us talking about him, saying that he's not making a lot of progress. He's been going 3 wide to the outside and gets from 10th to 8th. And that 51, he's on the move forward. He knows what's at stake.
All the guys dipping and diving, 3 wide, 4 wide throughout the turn. I think right in the middle of that is the 54 of Matheson, but behind him, Greg Mitchell, basically at the tail end of this hornet's nest.
I mean, just look at this out the windshield. There's a lot going on. Look at the 25. He's going to shoot that gap there, and he had enough momentum to get there in time, and then drives right back to the bottom. All the while at the front, Cabot leads by a 10th and a half, and second place is a fight. Skyoli, McKinney, Nichols, Okresic, the rest of your top 5. And Springer to 6th.
I was going to say, joining the battle of Springer, he just made another fantastic pass around Matthew Bell and Michael Curran. Going to blaze past Blaze McKinney as he's going to continue to dive to the outside. I'm almost concerned he's going a little bit too fast, so he might be wearing out those tires, but he's not concerned about that as you see a door-to-door action with Michael Curran and Blaze McKinney off of turn 4.
As they come to the stripe, Skyoli's the new leader, so he'll lead a lap. It's also a bonus point for leading a lap. Another bonus point for leading the most laps, so Adam Cabot's in a good spot right now, just holding on to second, but Springer must win. He's on the outside looking to get around Nichols for third.
Look at this out of turn 2. Big momentum for the 54 of Matheson carving his way forward. Remember, he started pretty deep in the field, and he's sort of followed some other drivers up through it. Beckner in that 28. Not letting the EOL be too big of a factor here. Jeremy Miller is 25 seconds back after serving his drive-through penalty. And for the lead, here comes Skyoli and Cabot once again.
There they go. Skyoli looking to the outside. So is Ricky Springer. He's also a factor in this battle. It's a 3-way battle for the league. So 51 riding it on the outside. He's going to get a massive run on the back straightaway by doing so. I'm not sure he's going to be able to fan out and make a move because he might get that hole closed up because Jake Nichols, he's going to make a move to the inside of 51.
Looking to take the podium spot away as Curran battles behind, trying to keep McKinney and Okresic at bay for the 5th position, but that 51's been working that outside lane slowly but surely getting up. Might have a good run here for the lead if he wants to make a move.
Single file now, back to 5th place Michael Curran, who's also finding some legs here. A little bit of a wiggle there by Okresic off the bumper of McKinney, and that's going to fan everyone out behind him wide.
Look at that, 4 wide in the middle of the field there, and in the middle of that is, I believe, Jake Matheson and Travis Beckner. They look like they're trying to go through. Beckner's going to give up, have to yield, make sure he doesn't get into more trouble. But they're still not giving up. They're still 3 wide. Matthew Bell on the outside in the pink and white car. Ray Shaver to the inside, who's now starting to drop back just a little bit. Oh, Peyton Howell on the outside as well in the FedEx machine. He almost got
whoa,
Beckner, and in the grass is Ed Sheeran Jr.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran Jr. and Douglas Dubiggy, not sure what that was, but they were racing in the grass, so that they might have just opened a 6th lane, but I don't think they want to use that lane.
Is it not wide enough already? I mean, you could land a 747 sideways on the backstretch here. Do we need more space?
Well, if you're Corey LaJoie, you land it upside down.
Well, needs to go back to flight school, I guess. Oh, boy. And for that matter, I think Tyler Reddick got his aerobatics license last weekend.
Oh, I might see some aerobatics here with the way they're all bunging up in the middle of the field. Got guys on the apron and merging up. And especially entering the corner, everyone wants to get up high to get the straightest line through the corner. Only so much you can go, only so much these drivers can go at. And then also I'm starting to notice a lot more drivers getting loose because they're pushing really hard off the corner as well.
Indeed, as Cabot remains the race leader, Skyley's actually in a battle for second with Ricky Springer, still trying to negotiate his way towards the lead. And then behind them, it's just a madhouse of side-by-side racing, whether it's 2 wide, 3 wide, or 4 wide, or even 5 wide if you're racing in the grass. But it's all behind Adam Cabot, and that's the best picture he wants to see.
Yeah, a little bit of shifting and shuffling left to right here. Lap 13 is complete. Everyone knows that's the lucky one, right, guys? Look at the 87 and the 28. They almost came together.
Almost came together, and then coming off the corner, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they've had a couple of run-ins, both of them. Drag racing down the back straightaway. Big run through the middle lane, being led by Travis Beckman, then to Jonathan Oates, Eddie Rasheed Jr. To the outside, Peyton Howell, trying to make some forward progress. He's kind of actually not really gone anywhere. Starting 11th is in 10th. But in behind him is actually Douglas Newbegin, who's made up quite a few spots. Starting 30th, he's up to 14th. So Newbegin trying to get up there because he needs crucial points.
Yeah, Douglas Newbegin, his only start here. Whoa! Only start here, he finished 11th. Blaze McKinney right in the middle of that with Beckner. They're going to continue to collide through
Nope,
the
there they go.
turn.
There's no way.
Whoa! There they go!
Crash, back straightaway. Beckner's in it. The 52's in it. And big
57.
hits for the 57 and more.
Seth Berger just made it on through there.
Well, I almost jinxed that. I was going to say, we don't usually have a lot of yellows here, and this has a chance to go caution-free like it did in Season 2, but now that's not the case.
Yeah, this was just a lot of cars coming together here. 17 runs up the hill, gets into the 28, turns him sideways, and then, wow, the 52 got clobbered. Harden took a big hit there, too.
Yeah, really unfortunate for a couple of drivers, especially Reese Schaefer is running so well in the beginning part, was starting to drift back in the middle of this run.
Oh,
he got a huge amount of damage, and then especially Peyton Howell got a huge amount.
Yeah, Reese Schaefer, as you pointed out, really strong qualifying effort there. Yeah. Cameron Hearn dodging and weaving there in the background.
And Philip Groner actually also got collected in this as well. He got spun off the nose of Payne, and he was trying to avoid.
This is going to be a wild camera angle here, I think. All right.
Money shot right there.
I guess so. All right, pit stops. What do you think?
Yes. From the handling of these cars, it looks like they're going to get loose and loose, and they're manning a lot of them. So it looks like everyone is coming on down.
Wouldn't even ponder taking 2, or just take 4 and go about my day.
I think you're going to need 4. I feel like 2 is a little bit risky, especially this early on.
If you're going to try it, I would try it now. I don't think you should try it.
I'm not Larry Mack, but I think 4 tires is better than 2 in this scenario.
Well, you need at least 4 to drive.
And new tires.
There you go.
4 tires is the recommendation.
And 8 tires are better than 4, so what's your point? Sorry.
You know what's better than 8? 16 tires.
Well, about 20. Why not? Wide enough for it. All right. Ricky Springer comes out. Look, I like the yellow that we're seeing up in the top 10, guys. That means that there are drivers that are...
I see someone took 2 tires, and his name is Drew Jua.
Yeah, only to 12th, though, so I don't know if that made a lot of sense.
Well, he was near the back. I don't think he had any OL, but I think he started near the back, so he's just trying to make up track position.
I think he was like right on the cusp of missing the top 30.
So go ahead.
I was going to say he's going to be the one we concede the experiment. That's what I'm sure a lot of the other drivers, if they're able to tell if he took 2 tires or not, got to look at him as the guinea pig.
All right, well, we've got a moment under yellow here. We'll take a moment to, after getting our first replays of the night, to thank our replay partner, Hendry County Motorsports Park. Racing is back at the Hendry County Motorsports Park. Join us on October 26th to see Cruiser Late Models, UMP Open Wheel Modifieds, factory stocks, and more. Tickets are $15 for adults with discounted prices for seniors, teens, and kids ages 5 and under are free. Come see racing at the southernmost dirt track in America, located in Clewiston, Florida, off U.S. Highway 27. Visit HendryRacing.com for more information. One to green. Re-rack him, restack him. We'll see what we got here. Philip Groner looks to be out. Emerson Arden, Peyton Howell. There's some big damage. And some of that I don't know that we'll see cars back on track for, especially if you're not in the playoffs, Finney, at this point in the season when you get wrecked that bad that early.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Philip Groner because the first half of the season went phenomenal for him, and he's just either A, does not have the luck, or just unfortunate circumstances here and there. It's not been the best second half of the season, and that 11 car is quick, just that the circumstances that to really work with him.
Also a big shock to Peyton Howell. He entered tonight fourth in the standings, I believe plus 24 to the cutoff line. So him getting caught up in that wreck was the last thing he needed, and now he's going to be spending the rest of the race trying to navigate his way through and see where he sits at in the points, because we got two guys that are on the outside looking in on the front row. Cabot's been up front for a good bit, but Ricky Springer's had a fast car, and Kyle, his only start here in Michigan, he finished second where he's running right now.
Not bad. Not a bad number. Maybe someone should have picked him. We'll see. Feeling this 24 car. Hope he doesn't let me down tonight. Restarting lap number 19. Almost a fifth of the way through this race in the first run of the night. 54 is laying back a little bit. Green flag, and we're back underway at Michigan.
Yeah, the 14 of Okrazik's blinking in and out, so that's the reason why he's blinking or laying back. But let's see what the admins say as they roll off into turn one.
As we saw with that first wreck, Finian, the result for making a mistake here. Speaking of
Robertson venturing off to the inside.
Saved it.
The result of having an accident here is pretty catastrophic. I don't think you're going to see a lot of wrecks where drivers walk. Well, it's probably the wrong term to use. Where drivers can drive away, and that was tight quarters there with the 51 and the 7.
Yeah, just because, again, with the way these cars are running, they're running at such high speeds, even just coming out of the corner before they enter onto the straightaways, that, you spin, lose, you're going to go flying off the track at a very high rate of speed into the wall. So we are going to see some catastrophic wrecks potentially, and like you were saying, for playoff drivers, it could be big as, I just saw Jake Nichols slam the door shut and Jake Matheson. He might have picked up some nose damage. He really closed in so quickly on him. Step back off into turn 3. Ricky Springer looking the outside, Adam Kaplan the inside, as Skyoli is going to keep the lead.
Yeah, 14 of Okrezik shooting the middle there. The 24 is also in that mix.
Good run. Cabot and Sprawn. Thought Springer was going to go with him, but he's going to duke to the outside, Cabot to the inside. But almost going to be 3 wide for the lead. It's still door to door. They're going to touch. Here comes Springer with a massive run.
Well, Cabot was not waiting around to play tonight. He knows he's got to be aggressive.
I think Springer hit the wall.
He hit the wall, and then I think he hit Cabot. They had a little bit of a touch down the back straightaway, but James Scully just took the lead away from Cabot, led one lap. Will try to lead a second lap. And it looks like Springer's going to come off of turn 4 with a decent amount of speed, and he will get ahead of the 07, up to second place for him.
The amount of playoff drivers inside the top 10. And Cream's rising to the top, Kyle. It's early on. 8 of the playoff drivers have secured the top 10 spot for the time being.
Yeah, and again, we didn't see this division quite so neat last week. Really in any of the series, it was a little bit more jumbled than this. So it's interesting on a track where cars a little less precision. Oh, the 7, a big wiggle in the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to walk it way up the hill.
Yeah, it's going to block the 51 and kind of kill his run off the corner, but they're hooked up. And no rules against bump drafting this track, so go right ahead. But here comes Jake Nichols, a big dive to the inside, trying to make some moves, get third, maybe second.
Yeah, that little wiggle from the 7 backed everything up and allowed the 73 to toe in on the draft, and especially at a track like Michigan, it shows. If you're not on that outside lane, you're going backwards, because that is the lane to be, especially on the backstretch. We saw Springer just jump to the inside, looking to get the lead in the 3.
He's going to go for it and take it away, but is he going to be able to hang on to it? Little slip up the racetrack there. You can see the counter steer. The 73 of Nichols is in the middle of a pretty tight squeeze there. Little blocks, and here comes the 7.
Yep, 54 was to the outside, Nichols in the middle, and then Cabot on the bottom, and then Connor Kresick flashing in and out in the middle of all this mess. As they work their way out of turn 2, big run off the corner. Cabot's going to drop even more spots. It's been a very poor restart for the 0-7 since he lost the lead. He was trickling down through the order with no end in sight.
Teammates working together in 3 and 4. Springer to the lead, Matheson in second. Matheson's pretty much good on points. He's not locked in by any means, but he's sitting pretty in points right now, helping his teammate and owner, Ricky Springer, lead a lap.
Oh, look at that turn in a little early on the 7. It's going to pinch the 54. And he's loose, but gets back in the throttle, stabilizes out to give Springer a little advantage.
Favorite from him at the moment. It's a matter of seeing who's going to be the next car that can challenge, and it looks like Skyler is going to come back on that challenge, and might see Jake Matheson, though, as he makes a move to the inside of the 7. Going to go right up to his door off the corner, keeps it off, and is trying to get the slipstream up ahead from the 51. As they head down the front straightaway. Matheson, haven't really seen a lot of him potentially up in the lead in this race. We'll see if he can try to crack through. Big dive for him on the 51. And I imagine that might be the teammates coordinating there, both of them with Slinger Racing Esports Graphics.
Well, you would think.
He'll come back at him.
Trolling both lanes now as Springer looks to take the
Whoa,
lead.
big block.
7, trying to block the 7 to Sky Early, but with a run like that, there's no stopping it. He'll have to check up, though, with the run to the inside, but Springer holds on to the lead, and Nichols trying to look to the outside of Matheson, not going to be there.
Well, Ricky Springer's got so much more to celebrate tonight than just a potential race victory. Happily engaged as of this past week. So, wife-to-be is letting him race, and he's making the most of his time on the simulator tonight. Still P1.
The biggest gift for him, besides that, would be to also make it through to the next round of playoffs, which he needs to make sure he wins this race. And he's doing everything in his power that he can at the moment. And he was gifted. That caution was really opportune for him because he pushed really hard to get near the front. Caution came out. He's on the same set of tires as everyone else to now defend that lead. But he looks to be one of the quickest cars out here at the moment.
And doing a good job of keeping everybody behind. Here comes Jake Nichols, the previous winner here from Michigan, back in Season 2, looking to sniff the lead and possibly take it away from Springer. He's going to slide up. Springer, though, still with a quarter panel there. Oh my gosh. He's going to come back to the inside.
But this is the kind of racing that Michigan demands, is you have to be brave and bold with your maneuvers. Otherwise, you just get run all over. Saw some particle debris flying up there middle of the screen. The 7 cars got the 0-7 to the inside. A little doppelganger there with the numbers on the door. And then the 54 and 87 chase each other across the road.
Yeah, it was like Springer's trying to block the inside, but it was a little too late. Nichols had too big of a run, so he's going to have the slightly better line on the entry to throw it in there and slide up in front of the 51. He will do so, and it doesn't look like Springer is going to be able to respond to this much. He's going to try to do the over-under on the back straightaway. Gets a slide draft off the left rear quarter panel.
Gonna have his teammate Matheson give him a little momentum shot, heading into 3 up to the inside of the 73 as Nichols might lose.
Nope, loose. Big loose for the 51. He's going to chase it up the hill. He's going to lose 3 or 4 spots on the straightaway here, but the 73 stays in line. That might salvage that for the 51.
Yeah, because it felt too risky to stick out of line, so he stayed back in it. And a giant freight train was moved on the outside. Adam Cabot going to switch to the bottom, get to the inside of the 54. He tries to do a slide draw on him, but the 54 is going to do the reversal, back to the inside of him. 3 wide off the corner.
Oh, Krezik's in a bad spot. He was blinking there, but he's settled in as still up for grabs is the lead. The 73 to the inside of the 51. Springer trying to get a run on that outside. It's not going to be there, though. But here comes McKinney. Big run from the 87.
And he's going to, again, give the 51 a shove. Everybody playing nice with the 51 so far. Maybe even the 73. There's more at play than constantly attacking your competitors. There is something to be said about keeping momentum going in specific grooves. The 54 to the bottom this time with a big dive.
Big dive for him, trying to see if he can make it work. Gonna slide in front. Whoa! Almost gets turned by the 7 of Skyle. He had to take evasive maneuver to the inside. And he was able to avoid it. Actually gets around the 54. Matheson doing a block on the driver in behind him. That's Jonathan Oates. He's been a little bit quiet in the second part of the run. Is Matheson sliding up the hill? Almost gets an Adam Cabot.
Well, these guys bouncing like crazy, even not off the wall, but just ping-ponging from the inside to the outside, back to the inside as They go through 1 and 2. Springer all the way up on that outside lane. He's got Michael Curran trying to look beneath him. He's not going to be close, but he will have Cabot to his inside.
You know, most racetracks, when you're 2, 3, or 4 wide, you kind of have a sense of where the other driver is. But here, this place is so big that you could be 3 wide and the cars could be 50 feet apart from each other. So it's so easy to lose track of where everybody is, especially when the overlap is constantly changing through the corner. It's what makes this so hard, mentally exhausting, Finian. The racetrack's simple. It's an oval. They all know the shape. But because the way it's laid out, the size that it is, and how aggressive everyone is being, you end up really just taking a chance every time you turn the car into a corner.
Yeah, you really have to have good situational awareness, just kind of keeping tabs on where the drivers are in behind you, who's diving low, who's diving high, who's getting the run off the corner, and who vice versa, and then who's making moves in behind you. There's someone trying to do a
spin, trouble out of turn 2. It's the 30. Miller.
Oh,
someone spun back in the field.
Nick Silver spun back in front of the field, and there's more cars collected.
I collected a few others as well.
So Miller's the first one that went around. We'll kind of collect the rest of it here in a moment. And he just drifts up here. Does he? Oh, the 17. Interesting. I gotta look at this again, maybe slower. He's up pretty high. The 17 has a... Does he have a wiggle on the bottom, or does he just drift? I think he just drifts up. The 30's coming down. They just kind of run into each other. And then the 99 is going to get tagged right there. So the 30 just has a pretty simple spin. Silver back into traffic. He picks up Cameron Hearn in this, recollects the 17, and I think that was the majority of it.
Yeah, it looks to be everyone else then. Looks like they got away with it. Everyone using all the racetrack and run off to their advantage to get around it. Oh, almost got away with it. He braked just in time to get past Nick Silver for a second, but then got collected right at the end.
Second caution of the night, and I think we'll see pit stops again. 17 laps on these tires. Actually, pretty much exactly the same run that we had before. Did somebody stay out?
Matheson.
Connor
Horn as well.
Horn.
Oh, that's interesting.
Are they worried about tire sets maybe already? I mean, not running out right now, but running out later.
Maybe? I'm trying to think of how that's going to work out for them. Because we started
could be fuel mileage.
They have 4 extra sets. And, you know, as far as pit stops and the fuel window, you're making it about between 40 to 50 laps. And depending on how conservatively you're running, if you're shifting between gears, pushing a little bit more.
Well, if you pit every 15 or 20 laps, if this trend continues, then you'd run out. So maybe that's a consideration, but I don't think that we'll see that.
Because we got 70 laps to go, so everyone's gonna have to come down at least one more time.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is they're staying out for fuel mileage. Maybe they think we get another 15 or 20 lap green flag run and then pit, and then they don't have to pit again. But then again, tire wear is going to be a concern.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I feel like they're gonna get eaten alive. Drew, he actually was okay. He tried the 2 tire stop. Well, it seemed to be okay, but he got loose off one of the corners and just never really came back for that. So I think the handling is definitely a big concern.
I think we've seen with the next gen tires, Finian, that the 2 tire versus no tire versus 4 tire thing doesn't seem to be amplified as much as it will be tomorrow and Thursday. But while it's not slower, it might just drive bad.
Yeah. And I think that's a big thing, especially when you're a giant group pushing really hard through the corners, pushing hard off the corners especially. I think that's going to make the difference. But we'll see if they're going to be able to survive with everyone else in behind the front row having fresher rubber to work with. I want to give an update to Connor Kresick. He looks like he retired.
Yes, I was just about to mention
the race.
Him. Yeah. He's 4 laps down now. I think that the issues he was facing were a little too extreme to continue.
So he called it a day. I think he didn't want to inadvertently cause trouble for other drivers, so he called it a race. As far as that, I don't think we lost anyone else from this previous wreck, so we'll continue onward. It's got Peyton Howell up there, 11 laps down. Emerson Arden, 57, 19 laps down. He's getting back on the racetrack.
Going to be interesting seeing this because he will gain a spot from that, the 14 retiring, but where they sit in the points right now. Also, Seth Knoll. Oh, well, I was going to say Ben Pierce, but Ben Pierce just came back down pit road. So Seth Knoll's going to be the test rat here with 2 tires. Everybody else has 4, and the 2 in front of him stayed out. Connor Horn mentioned that he stayed out. He's only, I believe, +4, +5 to the cutoff above. His only start here, he finished... Where's his name? There he is. He finished 25th, so not a good, not a good stat to have. Maybe trying to give a little momentum boost as we come up on this restart.
Basically 1/3 of the way through this race, I think, at the moment. 35,
yep.
70, 105. And Jake Matheson and Connor Horn are your leaders. The leader on the restart is the blue and white on the inside lane. A little bit of a bunch up there, stack up, accordion effect, but they get it sorted. We're racing once again for Michigan.
Well, Jimmy was ready to go. He was on it. He was trying to push them to the lead to get going up ahead. He's going to immediately get past Connor Horn. Now look to the outside of the one of Seth Knoll. He's trying to kind of check him up and keep him in behind off the corner. He will do so for now.
Oh, very tight. Almost everyone up on that outside lane because that's the lane you want to be in down this straightaway. Seth Knoll's going to have a run to the inside. McKinney, he's just going to stay tucked in behind as the 1 tries to take the lead.
Oh, boy. And spin, the 7 car. Scioli out of control. He saves it.
So that was a hard stopping moment there for the 7 car. He got contact with the 25 of Bailey Turner.
And we are 3 wide for the lead, guys. McKinney in the middle. Horn is in there, so is the 54, the 73, and the 1. We're not done yet.
Definitely not done yet. As McKinney trying to take the lead away, Matheson trying to keep it with what he can on those older tires, which actually don't seem to be too terribly bad for these guys. But I think what's also helping them out is the fact that they're not back in some dirty area in the pack with these other drivers. So I think the best thing for them is to try to stick out in front as long as they can.
Working out relatively well for the 42 of Connor Horn as he's still inside the top 5, but he's got guys with fresher tires behind and trying to go to the inside as Nichols looking to complete the pass on Matheson heading into 1.
And he will have it. And McKinney is going to drive to the inside of Matheson, and they are touching fenders there through the middle of 1 and 2 at 180 miles an hour. Your VMAX and VMIN here aren't that different. They used to be a long time ago, but of course this next-gen car has very different strengths. Adam Cabot still clinging in the mix here. And we're almost 4 wide again, middle of 3 and 4, guys. This is just frantic.
Yeah, 42 gave a shove to 54. He gets in the wall off the corner, though. Gets a big checkup. Almost got turned by the 51. He's up and getting past. There goes 51 of Ricky Springer on pass. So is Drew Jura and the 45 of Jonathan Oates make their way around Connor Horn. Here comes Ricky Springer, though, to the outside of the 87 of Blaze McKinney. He tries to go to the inside a little bit, but Adam Cabot's there. And here they go, 3 wide off the corner. So close with each other's panels. Ooh.
Oh, my gosh. And it's not done yet. Springer's coming down. He's coming back up. And now he's going to try to fend off the... What car is that? Drew Jew in the 13. He's going to try to fend him off, but got a strong run to the outside.
Yeah, where did the 13 car come from?
Well, I think he wants to get this race over with because just as the race was starting in practice, or I think qualifying, he's saying that I'm not sure if this is a joke or not. He's like, wait, I need to finish my midterm, due at 11:59. So
yeah, I mean, I'll bet you. Trust me, having been there from a different position in this situation, I was also one of those people that would put it off. And the justification I had was I was making money, and he's spending it right now.
Whoa, as Jake Matheson gets wicked loose in the middle of 3 and 4, he's going to have to give up some position to Adam Cabot. Looks like he's starting to struggle. Connor Horn, same boat. He's not quite been able to move forward. As a big block from McKinney to Adam Cabot. Entering turn 1, this can end ugly.
As Matheson's going to try and look to the outside of Cabot now. Cabot entered below the cut line. That's why he's in yellow. Needs a good run. Greg Mitchell scraping the wall on exit.
Drew Jewis a 3rd right now. And again, he's on the same strategy again as everybody else. Save for Matheson and Horn to drop to 7th and 8th. So Jewis got some real speed here. And I guess the motivation, faster he gets this race over with, the quicker he can go back to studying or midterm or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, he benefited a lot from when the James Skyler incident in the middle of the corner.
Such a bad experience in college that saying the words midterm or studying like give me trauma, like actual trauma.
You got PTSD from it? Yeah, I don't blame you.
Dude,
I can say the same thing.
not having homework is the best.
Oh, yeah.
There is
it
light
I
at the end
laugh
of the tunnel, everybody. It doesn't mean that you turn off work when you leave. You don't, but the obligations turn off for a little bit. At least if you have a boss that doesn't hate your life.
One person who hates his life right now, I don't want to say hates his life, but is a little bit annoyed by him at the moment, is Jake Nichols, who's trying to defend the lead. Here comes Drew Drill looking up the inside. And the 13 looks like he might taste the lead, might secure it here as he throws that car off into the corner. Slide back up in front of the 73. He cannot actually. He backs out of it. Wasn't clear.
He's obligated to battle for the lead. Completing the pass is another thing. As I was going to say, Nichols had probably the biggest margin we've seen tonight from this race so far at about 3 car lengths. But just like that, the draft closes everyone back in, and now Adam Cabot's closed in on the bumper with Ricky Springer.
Cabot, a little bit of a shove here. Springer goes to the wall and gets the door slammed shut. Ducks back in line here. This 51's had real speed, guys, and you know we've seen speed from Ricky at times on these 2-mile racetracks. But tonight in particular, he's looking to follow up his previous performance at this track at a time that he needs to have a good performance. And this is what you need, Finian, the stars to align. If you're going to just magically make it through a round that you weren't maybe meant to make it through, you need to land on a racetrack that you've got good history at and to make the most of it. You can't afford to have a 12th place tonight at a place you know you can do better.
No, he needs to, like we mentioned before, he's in a must-win situation. So he's kind of in the boat where he can afford to throw it all on the line because he's quite literally has nothing to lose. But it looks like he can just make it purely on raw pace. Question is, does he have enough to really just be there and time it right so that he's in the lead come the checkered flag? Because that's going to be the harder part, it seems like, tonight with the way the racing is looking. Jake Nichols side by side with Adam Cabot. Drew Drew is going to give a shove to the 07 off into turn 3.
Be able to send it down in and clear the 73 for the lead. Will Nichols try to cross him over on corner exit? Don't think he will.
Oh, Springer sideways.
Super sideways as here comes the 13. Thought he was going to go low on the 73, but he's going to give him a shove and
he's going to get bid for it. He's going to get bid for it. I mean, if you're going to be aggressive, you got to go with the obvious runs. He checked up, and it's going to cost him a spot here potentially on the exit of 2 with the 51 now to his outside. There it is.
Big shove for him. There goes Adam Cabot taking the momentum to the inside. He will have a look. Doesn't matter, can he clear the 73? He will not be able to. Nichols going to get actually a really good run off of turn 4. And in behind is Ricky Springer, Drew Chua. A little bit of a bump draft between both of them. Adam Cabot going to join up to get some momentum.
Oh, he's going to send it back to the inside, heading into 1. He's got a good run going. He's got the 2 cars behind him duking it out. Springer and Jua blocking each other as Cabot's going to stay to the inside, but that's going to open the door for the 51 to close in.
And we're slowly starting to stretch the field out a little bit, Finian. Maybe I'm going to jinx it by saying this, but we're 13 laps into this run, and things are looking a little calmer than they were on the previous few runs. Maybe not at the very pointy end, but throughout the rest of the field.
Yeah, again, that incident with James Skyley, who has actually managed to work his way back up to 8. You can see the pink car on the screen, in the middle of the screen there. Able to work his way back up. The pack got really separated, which is why I think we've seen it a little bit more common to say that. Michael Kernes gave a bump to the back of Connor Horn in the middle of 1 and 2. Both of them keep it going.
Well, as quickly as he made the move 3 wide, he got forced 3 wide, and now he gets a strong bump. That's Drew June to 13. Had a shot at the lead, but now he's going to try and reel him back in on the outside lane with the help from Ricky Springer.
Working lap number 50 this time by, and clicking laps away. Here comes the 13 to the bottom. Springer's going to size up which lane he's going to want. He's going to go way up top here. The 73 is going to drive it on the door. The 13. This will open the opportunity for Springer to build a run, but he's got 3 wide to his inside, and he's actually not going to be able to throttle up in time. He's going to lose 1, 2, maybe 3 spots, but the 87's got nowhere to go.
Yeah, I was going to say he got checked up by the 87 got checked up by the 7 of Skyle. You got a poor exit off the corner, but looking to break inside the top 5, makes contact with McKinney. They continue contact in the middle of the corner. They finally back off one another, but I feel like it might not be over between these two.
Well, Silver's going to help out the 7. Drew is going to lead this lap, take over as the leader for the time being. Tell you, the 7 was far back because of the incident that happened in 3 and 4, and just like that, he's back inside the top 5, mixing it up with the rest of the field.
Let's go back and have a look at this again. There's a 25 on the inside. He had a shove from Newbigging. They go off into turn 3. 25 just understeers, tags the 7, and this was a fantastic save.
Whew. Made it look easy. He got really, really sideways there. If this is real life, NASCAR would have thrown the caution out as the field works past Emerson Arden, who will go one more lap down.
Well, float like a Cadillac, sting like a beaver is the motto of the 7 there as he's climbed back inside the top 5. Meanwhile, Nichols is taken over as the leader again. It's like a revolving door between Nichols, Jua, Cabot. Maybe the 7 of Scioli. Strong run to the inside.
Oh, a little bit of a check there.
Springer got off the wall and almost got turned around by the 87 of Blaze McKinney there. That was close.
Now at the length of the previous run, 17 laps. So is that caution clock ticking?
Well,
Seems like it.
I'm trying to hit the button. It's not working.
Put it out. I'm just kidding.
No, but we've been seeing.
I'm just kidding. I just hit the manual caution button.
So I'm gonna ask this Carter Coop's arm getting itchy. Whoa, we might have it here. 4 wide off the corner. Ricky Springer into Scioli. Their old checkup. Newbigging almost below the white line. Blaze McKinney going to get a fantastic run off the corner, back to 3 wide.
No, there's no way Newbigging can hold that. He did somehow. When he entered on the bottom right against that yellow line, almost surely you're going to push up the hill. That's what we saw happen with the 25 against the 7 the last time.
Yeah, 71's been very conservative with his runs, and I think it's been helping him out. He's just been hanging quietly inside the top 10, not making a whole lot of noise. Just wants to get some good points.
Yeah, he's waiting for the right time to strike, and as the race goes long, well, forget everything I just said. He saved it, didn't wreck it, but got a little too big for his britches there, so he'll fade outside the top 10.
Cabot throttling up here to get back to the inside of Nichols on corner exit. Nichols did not get a very good run through. 3 and 4, banging off each other. Here comes McKinney. Is he going to steal the lap lead? I don't think so, but it was close.
Not quite, but he's going to lead heading off into turn 1 as he uses the apron to gain some speed, and will dive it down there and will just slide up in front of the 07 Adam Cabot. But he's going to get flanked, at least on the right. Oh, he's going to get almost turned by Adam Cabot. He'll save it.
Yeah, that was just a mixture of bad run at the wrong time for the 07 of Cabot, but now it brings Jua back to 2nd. It brings Scioli back inside the top 5, and you got Ricky Springer behind him as well, trying to get back inside. And they're flirting with disaster.
Yeah, they're flirting with something. Disaster it may be.
I feel like if we do get a caution, it's just going to center around Blaze McKinney. We typically see him be a little bit more aggressive drivers in the field, and chaos kind of usually centers around him. And especially, I would say, in this run, because he's been almost sideways or almost gotten someone else sideways a couple times.
My goodness, Nick Silver and Jonathan Oates, I thought there was going to be a wreck back there.
Nick Silver rebounding from that spin earlier, back up to 8th place at the moment, and big defense from Bailey Turner on Newbigging down there at 3.
Haven't seen a whole lot out of that 25. He's in the side of the top 10. Trying to move his way forward, trying to help his teammate make sure he gets it on to the next round.
Strong run into, almost at 3. Strong run into 1 and 2, trying to set him up for turn 3. Still door to door for 3rd. That 51 car is loose as a goose on the outside lane, and Oates checked up because of it.
How loose are Goose?
Well, they can fly pretty freely,
I suppose. 07 Cabot back to 4th place, going to shoot the gap on exit. Big wiggle for the 87. He has been a nucleus of entertainment, hasn't he?
He really, really has. And that's why I'm feeling like the caution, has a good chance of revolving around him. As we see another dive for second place. Skyler trying to get ahead of Drew Jua. Now this kind of calms down for a second. I say that as they go 3 wide. Never mind that. Up now they go back out to single file for a bit. I was going to point out the drivers that try to shake up the strategy. Connor Horn, Jake Matheson, both of them did not pit. Not doing too hot with 20 lap older tires compared to everyone else. Connor Horn back in 15th, Jake Matheson back in 22nd, and then Seth Knoll, remember, took 2 tires only. He's back in 20th. So it looks like 4 is the way to go, it seems.
Prophet Finian.
Like I said, I'm not Larry Mack, but I think 4 tires seems pretty good around here.
Well, the 7's trying to close in and have a shot at the lead. Don't think he'll get it here. He'll just tuck back in line. Behind him, though, the 07 Adam Cadis looking to take 3rd away from Drew Jua as he try to close back in on the leaders.
I just thought of a really dumb joke about tires. I'm not sure it would land. I'll save that one for post-broadcast, I think.
Don't embarrass yourself.
No, it might touch the wrong nerve, so.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
No, I mean, it's
okay.
It won't offend anybody, probably, but I want to take the chance. I mean, we are finishing out, but I'm not done yet, so I don't want to get fired.
I want to fire myself.
45 laps to go this time, guys. We're starting to wind them down soon. Last 30 minutes of racing if it stays green. That 45 of Jonathan Oates, he's been creeping up as of late. Been pretty consistent tonight, though, in the top 12.
He has been. He's been kind of ebbing and flowing, but he's been slowly getting back through there. He's got Ricky Springer to the outside. Springer's kind of fallen off in the later part of this run, and I say fallen off. He's not drifted that far back. Only back to 7th, still very much in the lead group. Might be deciding to conserve this up, because these guys have to think the long run, because, you know, in about 20 laps time, they have to think of coming down to pit road for what might be the only green flag stops we'll see this race.
Compared to where he's been running.
45. Out of control, in the wall. Silver goes for a dive, and he's not going to... I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But I have to. Seeing is believing. Tom Hanks taught me that.
Look what 45 just got loose, went into Newbegin, up the wall, and then Nick Silver,
great
job
time.
walking it down.
Second time he's put that passenger door into oncoming traffic tonight.
I know we don't have a award for the greatest saves, greatest save of the race, but give that twice over to Nick Silver.
Yeah. Well, first one. I don't know about the first one being a save.
So I'm laughing. I just saw what Carter Coop put in our Discord chat.
Oh.
He put in Google Larry McReynolds. Did you mean Finian Dakota?
That's funny.
Gotta save that.
Oh boy. Things are calming down because they were too chaotic for too long. It's like when you're popping the popcorn and the last kernel goes, you know? Who's our last kernel tonight?
I would go with something gets burnt.
Or are we Colonel Sanders? And it's about to get spicy.
It might get spicy here. Blaze McGinney's got a big run, almost like turn the 07 of Adam Cabby. You gotta be very careful where you push
That
on these things, as we've seen.
Was not Chevrolet Camaro sized. Which I've heard before.
Interesting.
We're still talking about racing, right, guys?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay.
Well, I would hope Chevrolet would have something to do with racing.
Well, you know.
Well, it's a big hole for Adam Cabot to go through on the inside. I was trying to segue out of it.
Oh, trouble.
There's not a big hole.
Well, it was big enough for the 07 to fit. Shut the door on Newbegin. Shut the door on McKinney. Newbegin below, just watching this unfold in front of him.
Jamming him up the rear here into turn 1. Gosh.
How about Douglas Newbegin, though? Big run on the inside. His challenge for 3rd. And we talked about Newbegin having a quiet run. He's might actually fancy a shot at getting the lead. I see a big move out of line. It's Bailey Turner throwing a block on the 45.
Getting a little racy again here up in the top 10. Bailey Turner in the 25. We haven't really seen him this far up, have we? Highest of 8th. Now he's 7th, so he's gone only up, though. Started 22nd. That's the lowest he's run.
Here we go. Newbigging with a look to the inside. Turner mentioned that he had contact with Skyley in the beginning of this run. And both these guys find themselves inside the top 6. Newbigging not going to clear for second.
He'll clear for third, though, which is where he slots himself in line. He's going to make a charge at second. He's got Adam Cabot giving him a shove from behind.
Side by side here. Newbigging sliding up the hill. Scioli leaving him some space to gather it up. Here comes
This is the most
Cabot.
aggressive. This is the most aggressive seeing Newbigging in quite a while.
He's got to be. Look at the color of his number below the cut line.
Well, he gets freight trained though on the outside, gets dropped back to 5th with a big run from the 7, the 07, and the 87 on the top side. He'll go back for a run on the bottom, and he'll slide himself back in 3rd. Blaze McKinney, though, loose in the middle, 3 wide with Adam Cabot and Bailey Turner. Turner loses big out on that battle, gets split 3 wide with Oates and Drew Drua on the outside.
Oates sliding up, and now Turner's going to be on the inside of him. 7th, 8th, 9th up for grabs as is second, as Newbigging now has a, well, he did have a strong enough run to the inside of 7. He's going to tuck back in line as the field works their way to turn 1. They've been able to get to the bumper of Jake Nichols, but they haven't been able to get around it.
I know exactly what everyone will say if he wins this race, too. You guys know what everyone else will say?
I don't. What would that be?
All that for a Jake Nichols win.
Hey, I picked them. I've been right 5 times this season. Make it 6.
You wish.
Right, well, we
Who'd I
still
vote
got
for?
plenty of laps
Where
to
the
go.
heck is the
Vinny.
24? Why is he 10th? Get up on there, champ.
Commentators
Idiot.
cursed at work.
You better get moving here. He's literally a minute ago he was running as worse as he's run all race. That's my luck. Got a lot of racing left to go. Over a third of it left. By a tiny bit. It's basically a third of it left. Oh, trouble!
Spinning up ahead!
And
Ricky Springer the wall, Adam Cabot around. And I think another car in the wall. Well, there's Blaze McKinney in the wall as well.
This
oh
is
boy.
not what the 07 needed.
No, it's not.
Not when any of the playoff drivers.
I think he got away with it fairly okay, all things considered. But see what happened there. That started and ended really quickly.
51 was up there, and he gets loose, wiggles, wobbles, and tags him. And the 87, oh, 24 got a pretty good.
Like all the playoff drivers involved that were in that. The 07, the 87, the 24, the 51.
Dang it, dude. All right, 35 laps in. This is going to be your last pit stop, in theory.
Yeah, in theory, they should be able to make it to the end. Just a little over 30 laps, and actually it's pretty much exactly the amount of time we've been out here.
Well, Drew Jua told us that we need to go back and watch that from his perspective. He said, nah, go back and watch from my onboard.
Yeah, he and Jonathan Oates actually collected a little bit of this. I'm sure Drew also got very close.
Oh, my.
Wow. Thread the needle. How about that?
That's pretty wild.
I mean, you've got Affleck on the car, but you drove through the wreck like you didn't have Affleck. You gotta avoid the wreck.
Oh, my
Wow.
gosh.
Look at that.
Little snap turn there, he is lucky them Goodyear's gripped, man.
And everyone's going to come down and get 4 more on each of their cars.
J. Ray said, Kyle low-key fuming. Finian called his shots and cautions. Oh, my God, dude. Final third.
Oh, it's on Mr. Box. Oh, you'll never guess who it was.
Oh, Seth Knoll.
It's got
Oh,
Denny
wow.
Hamlin.
So-
By a
Seth
wide
Knoll-
margin.
Seth Knoll and Michael Kerr, Mr. Box.
Denny Hamlin luck on pit lane. It's like
I was going
it's
to say,
like they
Seth
didn't sign the
Knoll-
charter agreement.
Seth Knoll went 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes.
Oh my gosh. By the way, why does everybody have Walmart Connect internet tonight? What is going on?
Yeah, I almost wondered if this has got to be like a
Ugh.
an area.
Buying their internet service from Wish.
Could be like a local outage somewhere. Like, remember I told you I was having internet trouble one night?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know why it's been like that.
You don't have
It's been weird.
Comcast or Xfinity. And this was not as fast as Xfinity 10G or whatever the heck they call it. If I hear that one more time.
I mean, we're not sponsored by Xfinity, but we are sponsored by... Come on.
Elite Entertainment. Add some life to the party this fall with Elite Entertainment. Located in Boiling Springs, South Carolina, Elite Entertainment provides high-quality band production to entertain at any location, including karaoke, singo, and more. Visit Linktree/Elite Entertainment LLC for all contact info, and make sure you check out the High Banks podcast. Just two blue-collar guys, Nick and Alex, talk about NASCAR and more. Episodes 205 and 207 feature Brad Slaughter and Jacob Bell, available on Spotify. And well, we might not get another yellow. We might, but we might not. Talk about rickshotsauce.com as well. Make sure you check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Make sure you try that Loxahatchee Classic, Golden Garlic, Palm Beach Pineapple, or South Beach Heat. Follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see which driver will take home the $100 extra cash prize as the highest finishing rookie in the point standings. How'd we do?
I think we did good.
Efficient.
Right before we go back to green.
Just like do the Vince Welch thing where it's just like, we gotta pay some bills. We'll be right back. Anyway, we're not going anywhere.
Oh, I thought you're actually chewing up to say something there.
We gotta pay some bills. Sorry, go ahead.
One thing I'm looking at, Connor Horn must have pit.
I was going to say, he pit under
yellow.
green.
Yeah, and timed it perfectly. 3 laps on his set of tires.
Well, now I know why my button didn't work for the yellow. His button worked. He's got the buttons.
He's got the David Hoots special on the dashboard.
Yeah,
But he turned a poor run and potentially a great run here by the way he timed that.
Hey, this is huge for him. Mentioned his only start, he finished 25th here. He needed to do something different, and well, pitted right before the yellow came out.
Yeah.
And it worked out very well.
He was going nowhere, so he had to try something, and this might have worked out in his favor. Just about 33 laps left to go. Connor Horn, Jake Nichols on that front row. Green flag, back racing at Michigan. Onto the backstretch, Horn leads, and it's a little bit more tumultuous for third on back. Big block there from the 25 into turn 3 on Jacob Bell. We haven't talked about him all night long. Started 33rd, running 9th.
It looked like he got a good run forward at the moment, the highest he's run, and trying to make it even higher. Now he feels his moment to strike as they're effectively, it's going to be a sprint pretty much from here to the end.
Well, he contemplated whether he wanted to run tonight or not, but wanted to give you guys a good show, so he's out there in the 6th working his magic inside the top 10. As behind him, they're still duking it out for position as Connor Horn runs away with it.
Here comes Newbegin to the bottom. Jua still in this mix, is now a little bit of confidence after dodging to even through that big crash. Statistics would tell you don't have to do that many times, so you might feel like he's gotten through it. Got the bad luck out of the way.
Only time will tell if he's truly past the bad luck as Carlos Newbegin tries to have a look to the inside of the 73 Jake Nichols with Connor Horn still retaining the lead. And Newbegin really loves that bottom of the racetrack. He's been hugging that yellow line almost to his detriment because he kind of gets a poor run off the corner, but should be able to slot himself in behind Nichols. He will do so. It's picked up by Drew Jua off into 3.
Well, the front 6 were single file before heading into turn 3 where they fan out to 2 wide, 3 wide, and almost 4 wide behind. That's Reese Schaefer in the 97 right in the middle of that, just in front of them. Ed Shear Jr. in the middle of it with Adam Cabot trying to give him a little draft heading into turn 1 where they're side by side behind Connor Horn.
Tell you what, if this 42 can somehow pull this off, I wouldn't say it's an upset, but it would be his first win of the season. And it would probably be at a pretty annoying time for everyone that's at the bottom half of the playoff standings here because it will shift that cut line just a little bit. I mean,
Especially
But
I was gonna say, especially for drivers like Michael Curran, who are currently down he's just on that bubble, but he's got several drivers in behind him that are ahead of him right now on the racetrack and performing well. So he's back in 17th, trying to climb back up the order, and he can't really wait too long back there. He needs to pick up positions.
Yeah, Curran was involved in that wreck, so it took him time to repair the damage, but in doing that, you lose all your track position, so he's trying to gain that back as the chaos is, well, almost started with the 81 in the back, but in the middle of it, still the thick of it, as Horn continues to fend off Scioli to the outside of Jake Nichols, trying to take second away, but Jacob Bell is cracking the top 5, guys.
yeah, the momentum at the right time, and I think that's the point I was making about Connor Horn is he got lucky, and you have to take advantage of it when you get moments like that. The 6 is also in a similar scenario here, where just found himself in the right place at the right time to maybe steal a top 5. There goes the 73 on the leader. Is going to run the 42 up the hill a little bit. These two have raced each other fiercely, and they're going to continue to do so tonight.
And Horn will hang on to it with the run off the corner. Skyler going to help him out with the run. Drew Jewett is going to go to the inside. Connor Horn goes down a block.
Now it's going to be 3 wide for second behind him. Skyler's going to have the run off. He might have the push as well from Jacob Bell. Big Nichols stuck in the middle. Horn trying to block any lane that gets a run, and he'll do just that as the 7 gives him a tap hit before heading into 1.
Yeah, there was momentum building on the bottom there, and he didn't go and block it, and instead is choosing to stay with the 7. And I think that was the right choice. 7's going to be on the bottom, which I think is a harder place to make a pass at the moment.
Yeah, and you can see him lose that momentum off the corner. Has to pull back in behind the 42. In behind them, 3 wide for second. Douglas Zubik trying to figure out where he wants to go. Drew Jewett stuck on the bottom, and Adam Cabot trying to make a move to the bottom. Here comes Jacob Bell up the 3rd, trying to see if he can go for second in the number 6 machine.
The car behind him, Greg Mitchell's trying to crack the top 5. He's not letting Cabot get in line. Matthew Bell, Jeremy Miller also cracking the top 10. So the guys that are not in the playoffs also rising to the top as the race enters the final 25 laps.
Yeah, there are some drivers that are turning the hourglass at the right time. And Scioli is not going to be able to get to the outside ahead of Bell. Bell's going to drive up to second place, give the 42 a shot. And this is a wild card. I don't think anybody expected Bell and Greg Mitchell to be in this mix. They are racing for very different things tonight than the drivers in the blue and yellow on the ticker.
Yeah. I don't even think Jacob Bell expected himself to be up here. He wasn't sure if he was going to race tonight, but he decided, you know what? Might as well. He usually runs well at these draft tracks, whether it's Daytona or Talladega and RIP Auto Club, but even Michigan, he's run well in the past in the Truck Series. So he's making the most of his opportunity as Miller is on his way to the back.
A lot of stuff to watch right now.
Oh, yeah. Especially in the middle of the field. As you can see, there's Michael Curran. He's actually moved himself up just outside the top 10. In 11th place is to the outside of Jeremy Miller and Jonathan Oates, but the 24 is 4 cars making some progress back forward, and he's not out of the fight just yet. So he's fixed up that car pretty good, all things considered. Unfortunately, same thing cannot be said for the 51 of Ricky Springer, who's well off the pace, 14 seconds back.
Well, I appreciate the optimism at least. Thanks, Finian.
I mean, well, I'm just saying, it's not looking good for him, unfortunately, because that car was really quick.
Well, I'm talking about the 24.
Oh, that, yes.
But I almost feel like you say that because you're confident in your pick. So, which it seems like you're way too confident, and so now I'm wondering who let you get a hold of the script this early. You don't get to have that many scripts. Someone gave you the drive link, and you took it and ran.
All of this for a Jake Nichols win. He hasn't won that many times this season. Only 2 wins to his name. This will be win number 3.
Well, Jacob Bell is loose on the bottom. Connor Horn's going to take the lead back, and Bell's going to be on the bottom, and 42 is going to give the block down the straightaway into 3. Jacob Bell was going to have the lead at one point, but just got too loose, and the 42 just had a strong enough run.
Squeeze play back here. Blaze McKinney had to hit the escape route and jump to the high groove there. Smoke on the front straightaway. I think we're all good. 57 of Arden getting out of the way.
Yeah, somehow they don't wreck once more. We're awfully close to it. And 0 chance of it, and that percentage of a caution coming out anytime soon There's so many drivers are making moves. Douglas Newbing trying to go middle 3 wide. Bell actually getting a little bit loose off the corner. He's going to drop down the order a couple of positions. Back to 8th.
Kyle had a strong run, chose not to go for lead, instead waits to fight another lap. The 73-year-old's third. They're almost touching for 4th. Newbigging on the bottom, Mitchell on the outside, Jua, Cabot, Curran all on the outside lane trying to do-si-do around the 71.
Do-si-do, what a nice word. Lap 85 of 105 coming to 20 laps to go next time around. Clicking them down. We don't have to come back to pit lane. I think if we go to get a caution now or in the next 10 laps, I think you have to. After that, free for all.
Which basically what this race has been. Essentially
Yes.
a free for all.
I mean, it's just like a coffee grinder, and every grain is a different outcome here.
McKinney cut it close with Bell's bumper on corner exit.
He's been cutting close with everyone's bumper this entire race, that 87 car. And he's not done yet. He was involved in the last caution, not necessarily due to his own doing, was kind of caught up in it. But he's kept the aggression level up. And the thing is that he's technically to the good. He needs to have a good finish, so you can't really risk a whole lot. But it doesn't look like he's backing down anytime soon. He's got a decent run here in 7th.
More guys shuffling their way throughout the field. Escali once again goes to the outside lane trying to get a run, but Connor Horn just blocks that bottom. And, you know, the 7 could get a run on corner exit, but doesn't have enough to make a send for the lead and convincingly pull it off. So he's just like rinse, cycle, repeat. He's just closing in on the straightaways, but can't do anything in the corner.
Nichols looks, they fan out like Blue Angels. Car up in the fence there. I think that's the 45. Yeah. But didn't pull it off. When you get up in the wall like that, Finian, you've seen so many times drivers overreact. They pull the car out of the fence and it just turns left hard. You kind of have to ride it out a little ways and unstick it carefully, because otherwise you fling yourself back into traffic in an inopportune time almost always.
Yeah, and especially with how close everyone's racing right here, it's going to have disastrous consequences for not only yourself, but some other drivers. So being able to get it back off, will fall back to 16th, but not concerned he won't be back up here shortly as we look off the back of Connor Horn. He's been confidently staying up there, number 42. No one's really been able to challenge him. The 7 and the 73 are poked and prodded, but not found a way past just quite yet.
Yes, the 7, I think the last time he went for the lead, he had a run to the inside and then lost it on corner exit, and then straightaways is what really hurt him. So he's trying to find a way on the outside lane to do it without losing too much. But I think at some point you're going to have to go back on the bottom and try and regain the confidence to send it for the lead as they're 3 wide outside the top 10.
Silver has had quite the night in that black and orange car. He's not done battling just yet, is he?
No, he's not. I have a feeling you might see him go sideways a 3rd time. Not from his own doing, they're just getting caught up in something. But it is aggressive up near the front, and it's only going to get worse as we enter the final. Get closer towards the final 15 laps of the race. Miller and Cabot making contact with teammates of all drivers.
Yeah, they're door-to-door trying to enter the top 5 as McKinney holds that 5th spot, but behind him, Seth Knowles creeping back in, drive through 4 pit boxes. Stand corrected.
What role does the 1 play in this? Already locked in. He's got a similar motivation to just win another one. Oh,
whoa!
That was dicey, and here comes a push.
It's a teammate.
They're trying to use him as a pick. Contact with the 42 and the 7. Scully gets sideways a little bit. He will save it. They're all going to slow up the corner. Here comes the pack charging through.
Look at this bumper car action from the outside. Knowles going to make it 3 wide in the middle. It's going to cut it really close. Connor Horn's still the leader out of all this as they thin out into 1.
So if you want to know when go time is, now. 4 wide again for about 5th spot, and Connor Horn trying to leave it all in the mirror, but he's
Knowles a little bit sideways. He's pushing hard. Saw the gap and had the momentum going, but just pushed a little bit too hard on the tires. That's going to cost him a couple spots.
Bump draft their way through 3 and 4 again. The 7 is going to have a strong run to the outside. Will it be enough to get alongside Horn? No, it won't. They're still fanning out and sideways. There they go. Someone went down pit road.
Jeremy Miller got sideways, And it looks like the other drivers took evasive action.
Jua bailed. He's out of the mix.
Yeah, actually, that was a separate thing. He was told by the admins he needs to try to fix his internet because it's starting to get bad.
Yeah,
with the way they're battling up here.
Can't have that at this stage of the race. You've got to be predictable, and it's not your fault, but you just got to deal with it. And Connor Horn, he's been busy up here fending this off, but I don't love having teammates behind me, especially ones that have worked so well together in recent years.
Well, in behind, Jake Matheson making contact. He got up into Seth Knoll and Blaze McKinney. He's getting feisty back here.
Just outside the top 5 as Skyler's going to send it to the inside. They're going to touch for the lead. Nichols right behind this. Here comes Douglas Newbiging as well. Skyler can't clear him. Oh, he does.
I think that Connor Horn will die on this hill, that he didn't want to be roughed up like that or didn't feel like he needed to be. So we're not done here. Horn's going to go to the top side here and try to wrestle it back to 73. He's going to lean on him here. Newbiging in the yellow number. He has got to move tonight to make up some points and keep his playoff hopes alive.
And big news, Adam Cabot just lost connection to the server. All of a sudden.
Man. And the one. Just looked like he was about to pull off, but he was not. And here we go. We're going to be 3 wide, I think. Connor Horn's going to shoot this gap. Thought about it. He's going to drive that 7 so deep into 3. On the high side, though.
Right now, looks like they're going to back out of it at the moment. 42 getting really loose, trying to push it mid-corner.
And Nichols isn't going to help him, is he? Going to drop to the inside?
Jeremy Miller also lost connection. There's something going on.
Stars are aligning in some sort of way, whether it's good or bad.
Look at the top 8. It's all playoff competitors, Hunter.
Cream rising to the top. We're heading to the last 10 laps of the race, and Seth Knoll has caught up with the top 4. He's going to work around Newbiging for the 4th spot as Connor Horn closes in on Skyler heading into 3.
The question for a lot of these drivers is how hard do you want to push this? If you're Connor Horn, winning this race isn't going to do much for you, but crashing would do a lot against you in his position. So he's got to weigh, how much do I fight this? I know he thinks he can win. He's maybe gotten roughed up a little bit by the solar flare cars, but is it worth it? I'd say no.
No, I think definitely no, because we know at least 2 drivers are going to be out of this, Ricky Springer, Adam Cabot. It's just a matter of figuring out the final 2. Tyler Nichols is not having the best of races. He had an okay day, but he's back in 15th. So Douglas Newbiging, he really needs to kind of get up there, and I think at this point, Newbiging needs to win. So I don't think it's worth trying to risk it. Just finish well. He's running well inside the top 5.
It's going to be close on points after this one's over, but Connor Horn's still trying to fight off for 3rd. Remember, he only had a +5 to the good, so he also needs to have a solid finish, and going toe-to-toe with Jake Nichols is going to be tough when you're 3 wide, almost 4 wide. Here comes Matheson with a strong run.
Yeah, Matheson is another kind of dark horse in this. I was just about to mention we haven't really seen him up front at the time that he needs to be. But here he is, top 5, 9 laps to go. He's showing up.
Yeah, Matheson and McKinney just flanked Douglas Newbiging at a poor run off the corner. He goes back to 7th place. Seth Knoll, he's been quiet all race long. I mean, felt it was suspiciously quiet from the number 1, and this is why. He's picked now the time to strike. Everyone else is fighting up here. He's saying, now my turn, guys. Gonna try to get another win.
Well, solar flare run 1, 2, 3 right now. Very good spot for those drivers as closing in on the final 8 laps of this one, and feels kind of calmed down even though they've kind of bunched back up. Connor Horn, though, still on the bumper of the 73, giving him a run.
Giving him a huge run. Now, does Jake Nichols do something with it? I think not. They're going to play this as a team, and that's going to drive the 42 crazy because he's got foes behind him. He can't afford to sit here.
No, he really can't. With the 71 performing as well as he is in this run, that could be potential implications depending on how this sorts out near the end. Especially if the 71 gets a win. But there goes Connor Horn looking up on top. Will the 73 and the 1 cooperate and play rear gunner? Will they try to have a shot once more at the lead? As Matheson goes side by side with Connor Horn.
That's about as best as they can do as Nichols holds that third spot. He blocked the run that the 54 had to the inside, and they're still going toe-to-toe, almost 4 wide back there. That was crazy.
Oh, big wiggle. The 54 landed in that gap. He didn't shoot that one. He just ended up there.
Luckily, Blaze McKinney just had enough room to let him in there, whether he wanted to or not. McKinney, speaking which, will go to the inside. Actually, there's Jeremy Miller as well, who... Oh, contact with Douglas Newbing. He will save it.
Saw that coming.
Well, it looks like help is on the way for Connor Horn. I believe that's the 30 of Jeremy Miller who's closing in on this, but
Yeah.
Bailey Turner, is that Bailey? That's Bailey Turner.
Yeah, no, well, the 30 is up there.
Yeah, because remember, he lost connection, so he came back in the servers. He's got fresh tires, and he's trying to work on through here.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I'm wondering.
I don't know what he's going to be able to do, Finian. I mean, it's hard to.
I think he's trying to help the 42.
Yeah, but how? I mean, give him a push? It's going to take more than that, I think, but we'll see.
I mean, hey, it's better than nothing. Listen, he's up against 3 team cars. He can use all the help he can get up here.
I guess, as my dad would say, it's better than a stick in the eye, which to me feels like a low bar, but.
Well, Bailey Turner's coming up. Whoa! Bailey Turner's up there as well, trying to help out, but yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I don't think that 42's burned some tire off there, leading that for a while, and he's going to drop a couple of spots now. And it's not dire by any stretch, but again, don't throw this away. 4 laps to go, guys. This is go time now, even for the teammates. If you want to win this race, Noel doesn't have to, so I'm not sure how aggressive he'll be.
He doesn't have to, but he definitely wants to. I mean, he's looking at getting a 7th win on the season. Might as well at this point. Whoa! I think that's Jonathan Oates down there trying to go below the white line. Trying to make some moves back here. But yeah, Solar Flare 1, 2, and 3 as they come next time to line. 3 laps to go. And for the moment, it seems like no one's going to be able to compete with them.
There's their 4th car right there, Tyler Nichols. He entered
trouble to 71 into the wall.
Below the racing surface, unless the 45 comes back up, that's not going to be a yellow.
He will not. The 71's got big time damage. He's going to be dropping. Tyler Nichols, love to see that.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not what Newbing needed. That's going to effectively put him out. Tyler Nichols, he's got to kind of sing a hope and a prayer there. He needs a lot more to happen here in these next couple laps.
Coming to 2 laps to go. 4 miles.
And actually, give you an update on that situation. Tyler Nichols, he's 4 points behind Michael Curran before the start of this race. Right now, Nichols is 1 position ahead of Curran.
Oh boy. It's going to be interesting tallying up these points, and interesting to see if anyone can dethrone the top 3 from Solar Flare. It's Skyoli, Nolan, Jake Nichols. Matheson's the closest one that could do anything. Bailey Turner running good in 5th as well, but not sure anyone can get through the first line of defense.
No, I think Matheson might be the only one to be able to poke a real hole in this. He saved some tire. It looks like they just balked the 73. He's going to go right to the yellow line here, and he's going to get a okay run. And if the 2 ahead get side by side at some point, he might be close enough to do something, but he's not done with the 73 either. Oh!
Whether we do know it's ever going to be finishing this thing off with some contact, though, as Matheson tries to go in the hole. Gets contact with Bailey Turner and Blaze McKinney as they side by side each other, door-to-door contact on the white flag lap as the Solar Flare trio set off, or at least try to set off into the distance.
They're going to head down the backstretch for the final time, but unless the 1 challenges the 7, this one's all Skyoli.
Here we go into turn 3. The 7 of James Skyoli has yet to win a race. The won a race last week out, advanced to the next round of the playoffs. It's going to be a run to the line out of turn number 4. Here comes the one of Seth Knoll trying to steal it from his teammate, but he will not. James Skyoli wins his first race of the season. He advances to the next round of the playoff. He defeats his teammate by 42 one-thousandths of a second, and the other by an additional 52 thousandths of a second. And it is a Solar Flare 1, 2, 3. How's that?
Pretty good for me. I finally picked a winner.
I was going to say, you're finally on the board. In the wins column at the very least. And I think you might actually pass Kyle with the window as well.
Let's go back and have a look at the last moments here. It was pretty tight coming to the checkers. sometimes this blimp camera ends up behind the grandstand, so I didn't want to try that first shot. But there's your victory.
Oh, less than a car length.
Yeah, a lot of Toyota Camrys there in the front. Burning it down. It almost feels wrong. I mean, look at the nose of that car. It almost feels wrong that he hasn't won a race yet this season. He is 9th top 10 in 13 starts. He will celebrate this one.
He's been very close to the top part of the field. Hasn't been in that first place position across the line there. He will finally go.
Here's a look at your race results. Scioli, Knoll, Nichols, top 3 for Solar Flare. Then Jake Matheson, Bailey Turner gets a solid top 5, first non-playoff competitor. McKinney and Horn will pick up some pretty good points. Drew Jua, Ed Scher Jr. had a troublesome night, ended up 9th. And Reese Schaefer up and down the order here and there, bouncing around, ends up 10th.
And moving on back, gets a little bit more interesting. Tyler Nichols, he finishes ahead of Michael Curran. As it stands, I don't think that's quite enough. He was 4 behind Curran coming into this race, and I think if anything, Curran has a bonus point for leading a lap over Nichols. So we'll wait for official confirmation, but it's not quite looking in the 41's favor despite his best efforts to get on the grid. A great run, though, for the 41. Seth Berger back in 13th with Cyrus Mitchell, Douglas Newbiging. The damage to him, that's going to take him out of the running. Nick Silver back in 17th, Bell 18th, Poncari in 19th, and Adam Cabot, unfortunate end to his day with internet issues so close to the end in P20. He's out of it.
Jacob Bell was up there for the last bit, but fell back to 21st. Jonathan Oates wrecked on the last 5 laps. He finished 22nd. Jeremy Miller, 23rd. Ricky Springer, 24th. Unfortunately, he'll be eliminated. Travis Beckner, 25th. Payne Howell's going to be close with him, finishing 26th. And Robertson, Ben Pierce, Emerson Arden, and Cameron Hearn round out the top 30.
And out of night that Peyton Howell wanted to see. And there's the rest of your order: Okrezik, Payne, Groner, and Kane. I don't think Kane never started, or if he did start, I think he just rolled straight down pit lane. There's your results. Let's talk to your top 3. I'm trying to see if we'll get points updated. Before then, we will. So, situation here is the following. The drivers that are eliminated from the playoffs at this stage by 2 points. Tyler Nichols is out. Adam Cabot is out. Douglas Newbiging and Ricky Springer are out. Moving on, it's Michael Curhan, Peyton Howell, Connor Horn, McKinney, Scioli, Matheson, Nichols, and Knoll. Wow.
Ah, man, that's got to sting for Tyler Nichols. Such a good run there at the end. Just not quite enough despite his best efforts.
Let's talk with our third place finisher, Jake Nichols, who is just 93 thousandths away from picking up a 3rd win this season, but a great result for the team, Jake. Pretty thrilling there at the end. It was nice to have the teammates all up front able to cooperate together, and I'm sure a win would have been better, but this isn't so bad.
Oh, it's great. We ran good. I feel like in certain scenarios we were the best car. I didn't get any practice in because I was just trying to help Tyler get set up over here, so I showed up, or I got in the car with like 10 seconds left of practice. So for that, I mean, we ran pretty good. I think long run we were best car out there on the track, and at the end I was just trying to help teammates. Once we got lined up 1, 2, 3, I wish people would have just raced playoff drivers with a little more respect back there in mid-pack range, but you know, everyone's racing for their own race, so I get it, but I think Tyler's going to be just short of making it to the next round, which is disappointing, but overall, it was a good night for Solar Flare. Obviously, 1, 2, 3 again. You love to see it. I felt like I was doing everything I could for my 2 drivers to just hold off everybody. I felt like Dale Earnhardt a little bit, you know, just trying to help my 2 drivers and keep them out front. And obviously, they're 2 wheel men out there with James and Seth, so they know what they're doing. But either way, a great night for us.
Great night for the number 73, Jake Nichols, P3. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
And second place tonight was the number 1, as Seth Knoll tried to steal it away from your teammate there, already advanced by 42 thousandths of a second. You missed the win, but this was a good round for you and tonight for Solar Flare.
Yeah, we had to make it a show there at the end because a little bit of team games trying to just hold on to the lead. We drove through the pack, had some fun tanking and dodging. Me and Matheson both kind of drove all the way up there, up into the top 5. Survived the chaos. I call it Mitchatona with this car, but good night for Solar Flare, able to finally get James his win. He's been deserving the win all season, but good points tonight for the whole team, and we'll move on to next week. I have no clue where we are, and set ourselves up for Championship 4.
Well, I can help you with that because the next week out we're headed to Iowa, so get practicing. We'll see you there.
Gross.
Adios.
All right. Have a good one, boys.
James Scioli, in what seems like shocking when you check the stats column, this is your first win this season in the Cup Series, and it comes at a pretty important time. It advances you, not that you needed a ton of help, but it advances you to the second round of the playoffs here and gets some much-needed momentum at the right times. James, take me through tonight, that battle with your teammates there at the end. I know the cooperation helped, but at the very end, they gave you a run for your money.
Yeah, huge win for sure. Especially happy to get the playoff points and carry those into the next round just to hopefully make things a little easier. Felt really good. I was worried. I had that big save around lap 40 and fell all the way to 19th and didn't really know how I'd be after that. But after that long run and just driving up through the field, I knew I'd have good speed. And then run after that, just kind of me and Jake protecting the lead, just pushing him. You kind of got to have friends out there. There's just so much draft in this thing that you can't ever get away as the leader. So you got to have some friends to protect yourselves from moves and keep everything going smooth. So super happy to have the collaboration there with Seth and Jake. Just really appreciate them helping everybody work together and just secure another 1, 2, 3. It's been a great year for all of us.
It has been, and with the blue on the side, the 7 is through to the next round of the playoffs, and things are looking up. We'll see you at Iowa next week.
Thanks, guys. Huge shout out to you guys on the broadcast. I'll have to go back and watch that one. Really appreciate all you guys do. Big shout out to the admin team. We're getting close to the end of the year, so really appreciate everybody that's stuck with us. All the non-playoff guys that are still racing with us to fill these fields. Big thanks to them. And then huge shout out Solar Flare again and Drafty Car for being on the car. And gonna try and lock myself in on Thursday too, and hopefully have another interview.
Wrong button. Thanks, James. Appreciate your time, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Well, I didn't mean to jump the gun that quick on that, guys, but final thoughts here on Michigan. This was a fun one. A lot of aggression. We saw some big wrecks. Maybe no surprises up there in the top mix, but all in all, I think Michigan puts on a pretty good show. I am excited, though, for tomorrow and Thursday because the trucks really do put on a good show at this place. They always have.
Yeah, especially with the lower power that they have and just the way the package works out, that really put on a fantastic show. But these guys tonight put on a fantastic show from start to finish. It was constant ebbing and flowing. It was a revolving door with the leaders, and eventually sort ourselves out with how this finished out. And these guys did a fantastic job. James Scioli scoring his first win of the season, not too late near the end, and we get the drivers moving on. Not surprised by the drivers moving on. It's going to be a tough field moving on to the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, it's going to be fun seeing how the rest of this playoffs go out with 8 drivers remaining. And then we still got, like you mentioned, tomorrow night, the Truck Series, and then we got the Pro Series on Thursday night. So it's going to be fun. I think tomorrow's probably going to be the better of the two. You're going to have a lot of pack racing, definitely in the trucks. The Pro Series, I think, will be more spaced out. But nonetheless, congrats to Scioli getting the first win tonight. And who knows, that could be the push he needed to chase a championship.
Well, that will do it for us tonight here on SimTV. We'll see you tomorrow for the Truck Series race right here from Michigan. Be alongside Connor Horn for that one. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.